drive down a country road, we meet Antoine, Loren, Luna, and Marie as they make their way towards a vacation home. Luna tries to ask her father whether they're almost there, but when he goes on a tangent about his childhood, the two girls simply throw on some music and tune him out. Once they get there, they take their bags up, and they see the state of the house that belonged to Antoine's dead parents. As they look around, we find out that they're deciding to move there from Paris, but they have a lot of work to do if they're going to make it their own. And that's where we grab our bags and our daughter and move back to Paris. It's obvious that Luna might be a little psycho, and her father reinforces it for sure. Soon, Luna and Marie carry their suitcases up to the cozy, run-down bedroom that'll be theirs, and they're shocked by a dead rat. When Loren hurries upstairs to protect them from whatever made them scream, he finds out that it was just a dead rat, and he terrorizes them with the dead animal before heading back out. Okay, maybe they all deserve to be together after all. This might actually work for them. While Loren cleans up, Luna and Marie are still trying to find a signal, but he can't take them complaining about it anymore. He turns the music up and pulls them inside before showing them how they can still have a good time without their phones. Well, you gotta give Loren credit for looking on the bright side of things. He's somehow able to make them forget about their phones for a split second, and he's able to make it off the ground more than them. I don't think I've seen anyone ride a broom like that in years. Soon, Antoine comes in, and the mood is completely gone as he tries to say that he can't reach Luna's mother. After the daughters disrespect Antoine and his family property, he leaves them alone. When the girls find out that the only place he was able to get service is from his grandfather's grave, they head there and see that they actually have friends in town. The girls get their fathers to agree to a curfew that night, and Antoine agrees to call them a cab to get them around. Next, the neighbor shows up to talk about the good old days of hunting with Antoine and his father. Antoine introduces Luna and their friends, and he tries to play it off as if his wife will be there the following day. After that, he finally leaves, and the girls head up to their room to make their beds. Marie tries to talk about the guy they're going to meet that night, and Luna tells her that she can do much better. She's looking for someone that's sexy, funny, sweet, and intelligent. Luna's looking for someone to settle down with. That evening, the men call a taxi, and they say goodbye to their girls after re-establishing the rules. Once they're on their way, Luna tells Marie about how her father's the coolest. And back at the house, Loren is giving Antoine advice on how to parent and get closer to his daughter. While the girls are getting drunk in a club, Antoine and Loren are home playing games and talking about how Loren regrets being alone. Eventually, the fathers start to worry about where the girls might be, and they soon see that the boys they met up with brought them home on scooters, which is against the rules. Once the dads confront the girls about the scooters, new outfits, and being plastered, the girls try to prove that they aren't drunk at all. Is there any point in trying to talk to them right now? They probably won't remember any of this in the morning. You've got to get them first thing in the morning when the hangover hits them like a freight train. They'll never forget it then. The next day, the four of them go canyoning, and Loren goes down with Luna. They have to get a little close and personal to make it to the bottom, but once they do, Luna starts to press a little more. While they take off their gear, Luna tempts Loren with a glimpse of what she's working with, and he can't help but take notice. On the drive home, she can't seem to get him out of her head. That night as they walk through town, Luna tries to convince her father to let her go with Marie to a club that evening, but he only agrees to it if Loren supervises. The girls end up meeting with the same guys once at the party, and Loren even has an admirer. When Luna sees the older woman talking to him, she starts to get jealous, and she spies on them from the dance floor. This girl's only 17 and she's already this jealous to see her friend's father talking to a cougar? She even tries to tell Marie she wants to go because he's hitting on an old, ugly, sketchy woman. Marie doesn't give a damn, but that doesn't stop Luna from literally pulling him away from the woman. She's determined I'll give her that. Marie comes over and gets permission to stay with her friends, but Luna tells him that she won't leave him alone. So she gets him to buy her a drink, and the two of them dance together instead. Antoine, on the other hand, gets a bad ride home, and he talks to his wife on the phone while she bar hops with some guys back in the city. Luna gets Loren alone on the beach, and she convinces Loren to join her in a skinny dipping session. Everything from this point forward is on Loren. This was definitely that key moment where he basically signs up for whatever shenanigans she throws his way now. Soon, Luna kisses him, and the two of them get out of the water. Once on shore, she tries to explain that she just feels comfortable and safe with him, and Loren tries to play it off like he understands. Then, she goes again, but this time she does so much more. She tries to tell him that she thinks she's in love for the first time, and the gravity of the situation seems to hit him finally. When they get home, they see that Antoine's hunting wild boar, and he notices that Luna seems to be in a completely different mood. The next morning, Luna catches Loren in the bathroom and kisses him again. She just doesn't stop. On top of that, Marie notices that she's wearing Loren's boxers that she gave him as a present. Marie's no fool though. She asks Luna about it, and when she gets a bullcrap answer, she immediately knows that it isn't true. At least Marie seems to be thinking straight. Later, Antoine and Loren head to the store to get something to handle the wild boars. Then they all head to the beach. Once there, Luna still can't seem to get off of Loren as she follows him around right in front of her father. He tries to go swimming to get away from her, but she's right on his heels. I can enjoy that kind of humor when it's the right place and time, but when you're a stone throw away from your father and his best friend, you don't try to pee on the best friend's father's leg. At least get behind a boat or something. Amateur. Marie notices everything that's going on, but she also seems to notice that Loren is trying his best to avoid her. When they get back home, Antoine tries to talk to his wife into coming out with them, but instead, he looks to Loren for some comforting words. Loren then goes inside to find Marie getting ready to go out again. But when he confronts her about it, she mentions that his shorts are in her room. Well, that's successful blackmail. Meanwhile, Luna sneaks into Loren's room and screams for her father when he tries to keep her off of him. Well, what the hell? From here on out, things seem to just move at the speed of a bullet train. They end up losing track of time and Luna sleeps in his bed. By morning, Loren realizes what happened, and he tries to get her to go back to her room before Marie comes up the stairs. She gets him to tell her that he loves her before she goes back to her room. But Marie sees her as she comes up the stairs. Once in their room, Luna tries to tell Marie that she loves her dad, but Marie's disgusted and heads out. Loren then heads to go check on her, and Luna's crying in her bed because she loves him. I told you, things just steamroll from here. Soon, Antoine wakes up and finds Marie sleeping on the couch downstairs. After she gives him some of the quickest attitude, he goes to have Loren talk to her. Then he has his own problems with Luna downstairs about his separation. Everyone decides to have a nice afternoon, and that includes Luna riding with Loren on a jet ski. He tries to take this chance to scare her, but Antoine takes this time to try and see what's wrong with Marie. She plays dumb, and they all sit together to play cards together that night. Marie notices that Luna's trying to mess with him under the table, and she asks Loren about the older woman he met at an earlier time. After agreeing to invite her out sometime, everyone seems to have enough quality time, and soon Luna and Loren are left alone. She tries to put some moves on him right there, but he's finally had enough. Luna ends up running to her room where she cries and thinks back on the good old times. You know, all 2 hours worth of alone time? I can't tell if Luna's psychotic and obsessive or just a teenager in love and obsessive, because she tries to play her father by telling him that she's seriously in love with someone that's older and just dumped her. She literally tells him everything other than who it is. So now he's worrying about her and he's completely innocent in all this. Loren thinks that this is a good time to sit Antoine down and have a talk. But Antoine takes over the conversation and recruits Loren in finding out who the old fart is that hurt his daughter. He knows that she trusts him, and he thinks that she'll tell him who it is. Once they get home, Antoine decides to try and talk to Marie, but she only gives him a hint to look at Luna's cell phone. Later at the beach, Luna leaves her stuff with the dads to go play paddleball, and Antoine takes her phone from the bag. When he finds out that there's a code to get in, he ends up locking her phone. In an attempt to calm Antoine down, Loren agrees to take Luna out for dinner and drinks to try and get close to her to find out who the old guy is. Yes, put yourself in the exact position that Luna wants you. That'll really show her. And just in case you thought you were winning, Luna shows him this. Just come out and tell Antoine everything. Pack your things and have them outside so you're ready to go as soon as you're finished telling him. Say your goodbyes and have a nice life. Facebook? Are you serious? Luna finally asks him an important question. She wants to know if the only reason he can't be with her is because of her age and her father, or if it's something to do with her. He tells her that it's definitely not because of her, but when she says that she'll wait until she's of age, he assures her that it won't change a thing. When they get home, they find Antoine coming out waving his gun, and Luna heads to bed. When Antoine asks for some suspects, Loren comes up with a lie as quickly as he can, but his lie is that it's the DJ. After they go to the party, Antoine can't get the idea of the DJ touching Luna out of his head, and he decides to take matters into his own hands. That's a low blow too. He caught him with his pants down, literally, and it turns out that the DJ's gay. So now he's just traumatized this man, and he'll probably never use a public bathroom again. Loren and Antoine head back to the parking lot, but Antoine's obsession with needing an answer causes both of them to crack. They quickly drive home, and it's clear that Loren has had enough of this crap. When they start to go inside, they hear rustling in the bushes, and Antoine takes a shot. Turns out it was the neighbor's dog. Well, now we can add digging a pet grave to the list of weird things that happened that night. The next morning, Antoine wakes Loren up to apologize for the night before, and during breakfast, the neighbor shows up to ask about his dog. They assure him that they haven't seen him, and he heads back home. All of a sudden, everyone has emotions flying, and Loren goes to check on Marie. Finally, Marie confronts him without all of the wordplay involved, and he apologizes. It obviously doesn't help things, but at least it's in the open between the two of them now. Later, the men head for the hills where they get ready to hunt for wild boar, and Antoine and Loren go to the end of the path to wait for the hunting dogs to drive them out. While they're posted, Antoine makes some revelations about his failure of a marriage, and Loren tries to comfort him. Antoine admires the fact that Loren can just come out and say things like they are, but Loren tries to explain that sometimes it's not so easy to just tell the truth. So Loren decides that now's a good time to just tell them that he's the old man. Antoine's emotionally vulnerable and holding a loaded shotgun. He literally just punched a gay DJ at a urinal that he thought violated his daughter. What's going to stop him from reacting and just putting a shell in him? He could always say he was aiming for the pig. After an embarrassing scuffle, Antoine leaves Loren out there to find his way back. Back at the house, Luna tries to tell Marie that it really wasn't Loren's fault, but Marie still holds him accountable. When Antoine gets home, he sees a note that says the girls have gone out, and he waits outside for Loren, who shows up shortly after. Loren walks right by him to pack his bag, and he packs Marie's bag as well. The next morning, the girls are dropped off by scooter, and they see the state of their fathers. Luna asks what happened, and Antoine gives her a simple answer. After this touching moment, no one says a word, but Luna gives Loren a smile that could melt butter. Then, the credits roll.